Steve Irwin. So for all the kids that don't know who he is, he really rocked the late 90s, early 2000s where he'd run around and do Animal Planet and was very enthusiastic about the animals. His love was infectious. Right?
Yes,
so it feels almost FE, but it's something even better than FE.
Nothing's better than FE. Don't listen.
DE plus FI is even better. So he died when he was 44, which is my age now. Got stung in the heart by a fucking stingray, which is extremely rare. I looked that up. It happened like one other guy once.
I know, right?
Like they'll sting you in the foot. But like to get a fucking impale in the heart is like astronomically rare.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to go with a snake or a croc. That's how I thought he was going to die.
So watching some interviews with him, he said he's like, I've never been bitten by a poisonous snake, or he has been bitten, but they actually never put the poison in him or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's been incredibly lucky his whole career, which is rather weird. He even kind of saw himself as lucky or gifted. Now, kind of studying statistics, it makes sense that like if you have like 100 good barely made it in a row, then it does make sense that like you got the worst luck ever in the end. I know that's really sad when we talk about somebody's life, but like impressive guy. So one thing that I really learned about him is his family, his mom and his dad. He really looked up to his dad. His mom was very supportive. So we kind of keep seeing this when it comes to like fixed and growth mindset. Like the growth of fixed mindset seems to be the biggest thing in our opinion at this time is what's getting passed on by your parents. Like your type is kind of sad. There's a lot of things that seem to be more genetic than we thought. Like the happiness gene, even that seems to be fucking genetic according to new research that you can research.
Uh-oh.
So there's a lot of different things that are genetic, but the fixed and growth mindset does seem to be the big one from your parents. So he was learned extreme growth mindset. He grew up with a lot of animals in the house, and his parents encouraged him to interact with animals. So he grew up with no fear,
Yeah, right.
So he is allowed to go do what he wants to do. Now, type-wise, I think we'll see this in the clip. So we'll kind of do a Dora the Explorer. We'll set up the clips.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we don't get this guy a sleep blast, we need to readjust the system.
There you go.
That's definitely a classic sleep blast.
Classic sleep blast with the play blast.
Yeah, I was gonna say cranked all the way up.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that if it's not all the way on the right, then
our system is off.
Our system's off. This is like, is this or is this not Tony Robbins?
Right. Right. He's an EP Tony Robbins.
We'll decide on Tony Robbins.
But I think Tony Robbins would be drained first. Yeah. So, classic definition of an extroverted person has sleep or consume last. It's not just are they very talkative or extroverted. You're very talkative and extroverted on these videos. But it's defined by your crash time. When you crash, do you go quiet and inward, or do you just keep going?
10 hours of the day, I'm in my closet.
Steve Irwin, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. I'm on fire, mate, so let's get into it.
We're already at the red level for energy, and we haven't even got to the first question. Are you always at this level? Is there a quiet Steve Irwin?
No. Nah, mate. No.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, there is. Like I had my shoulder taken off twice.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was quiet then, mate.
Yeah.
And I had a few cartilage operations, so like stuck in the hospital with the drips and all that. And
but beyond being heavily medicated, do you have moments of repose, moments of just
sleep energy?
Just take it in and sit quietly.
Nah.
so let me break that down. So the other guy is going, do you have any sleep inward processing?
Anywhere?
Take it all in?
Right.
Nope.
Right. So like usually when I'm typing, the thing that I ask myself, get offended if you will, do they talk too much or not enough? Easily the first thing out of my mouth would be like, well, talks a little on the too much side. I would say take a fucking breath.
A little on the too much. So now he's going to describe his inner house. So looking at sensory. Sensory is proving, reporting, grounding, being realistic. Oh, fuck, there's a space right there. See, sensory, right? Telling you the details, but you have to ask why this is connected. So it's like sensory is responsible for the proving. So he's going to make the bottom line statement, the summary. Hey, I heard you grew up with a lot of animals. And end dominance to be like, yeah, it was crazy. Tons of animals. Moving on. Sensory's got to prove it.
You grew up with the animals. They were your playmates, weren't they?
Absolutely, Andrew. Like in my house when I was growing up, Mum would have 12 pouches, make-believe kangaroo pouches set up on the backs of chairs, just virtually everywhere. So we'd have 12 little joeys ranging from little pinkies all the way up to 1-year-olds. Koalas hanging off the curtains, with gum leaves stuck in there. Sugar gliders gliding through. Like you'd be walking down through the house. Stay with me, mate. Where is it? Hey, you're walking down through the house and next minute, clack, on your bare back, you'd be a possum ripping to you. And of course, inside the house was just Snakesville.
Really?
Oh, crikey, mate. Chock-a-block full of snakes. Like, every wall that was spare had snakes in it. Starting a reptile park, which then became a fauna sanctuary back, and then it was like, whatever you could jam in the house, mate, because everything needed to be close to your heart.
Close to your FI.
Yeah, right. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to say for sensory versus intuition, because I think, like, watching people try and use do they make sense or do they not make any sense? I think it is, like, I'm starting to realize, like, be careful about using that
because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I keep saying is make sure that you know what it is related to your own function. Like fake phrases.
But from their perspective, what are they trying to do? Or not even their perspective. What is their savior function that they're usually unaware of?
Unconscious. Yeah, all it feels like to me is like, I'm visual, so it's going to be a little bit different, feminine sensory versus masculine sensory. But I would guess masculine sensory is trying to give you the spatial awareness of what was going on. He was telling you like, oh, things were coming at me and jumping on me. He's telling you like the kinesthetic feel of it. For me, I'm just going and I'm looking at a visual snapshot and I'm looking around. It's just as if you're looking at a movie scene and you're like, there was a chair and then this guy was doing that, I think. And then
you talk about your daughter Bindi. What's your philosophy of fatherhood?
My philosophy of fatherhood. I just treat her exactly the same way as I would want to be treated. And the funny thing is, Andy, I treat my wildlife the same. Like if there was a croc there, I'd treat that croc like I treat my daughter, like I treat you, like I treat my wife, like I treat anyone. I treat things how I, in turn, would want to be treated. So my little kid, I just treat her how I want to be treated. You know how my mum said, you can't have ice cream for breakfast? Here, sweetheart, have it. Go hard. And yeah, absolutely. You want to catch that snake? Sure, it's venomous, but we'll do it, and I'll show you how, and we'll do it, and we did it.
We'll do it, because if we do the things together, then we share love. Do the TE for the FI. Right? That's how you do it. That's how you share love. It's your FITE. So so you're seeing FI with the weird, I only have a one-dimensional copy and paste emotional state. He's not adjusting as he goes. But then also the DE that others have to be above him. And with the TE, like we'll do things together, then we're bonding. So watch how he sees his parents. Now he does have amazing parents, and but that doesn't necessarily mean Jerry Seinfeld could have had amazing parents, but as a DI, he's kind of like whatever. So the DE is looking up to others.
I love my parents just so much, mate. Like my mum, how'd you be? I was born on her birthday, and all she ever did was just love me and prop me up and get me back out in there. And my dad, just the legend of the universe. When I was the tiniest little kid, Andrew, I'd look up at my dad and, he was like larger than life. He was just like this action hero. He was everything I wanted to be. And all I've done in my life is follow in his footsteps, mimic him and try to be him. And nowadays, I just try to make him proud, mate. Yeah, I love my parents like nothing else. It's just they are everything to me, absolutely everything. And the day that my mum went was the day I lost something. Lost something really big.
I think there's a couple things there. Is that you got the DE where he's looking up to his parents or looking up to other people or authorities in his life, right? But then also the coincidence that it seems like his parents really were good people.
Yeah.
Where it'd be kind of a waste. Like say you got some asshole DI kid where they actually do have really good parents. You ever remember meeting kids at like the church groups or whatever? Like you'd have a friend that's kind of an asshole, and then like you meet their parents, and like their parents are fucking amazing. And you're like, wait, you're an asshole. I thought you grew up getting abused. Your parents are fucking awesome. What's your fucking problem, right?
I do remember.
So it's like this is a thing where you get a couple of things where he's DE and he's following really good parents, and then that's now giving him a lot of growth mindset, which is why then once he got to go, be 20 or whatever, just attacks life.
Yeah.
Because he's got the full support of his parents, is what you're talking about. Like,
right.
If the tribe that I look up to and respect sees me, loves me, supports me, then you just run this fucking fearless life.
Especially as a DE. Yeah, because you're very connected to how your parents see you. And if his parents were doing this to him, like, you would just... It's just a perfect gold, like, I need gold to live, and they gave me gold. You know?
Right. This next clip, he's going to be talking about her daughter, but when she was younger, like a little baby. Now she's in her early 20s, I think, and I think she's like TENE, Blast Last.
Okay, I was going to say she looks like a little ENTJ-ish or similar to my type.
TENE, yeah. But I do think she's Blast Last.
She's got that little...
So her and her husband and her mom, so Steve's wife, like... They still run the work that he started. So they still do the zoo stuff and supporting animals and stuff like that. But what's interesting in this next clip is that Steve is going to be describing his view of watching a double observer, a 4-year-old. This is back when Bindi was a little kid.
Oh, sure.
So rather than him just single observing, high energy, just jump in. I know I'll feel that way as an extrovert observer. I'll just jump.
So he's going to be amazed how she's just going, hold on, let me observe, let me get more information in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Watch.
Because you were raised to have no fear of animals, and it seems to me you naturally didn't. Is Bindi the same? Is she going to be the same?
I reckon she's a bit smarter than I was. In fact, I'd say she's a lot smarter than I was. I think the whole girl thing, this whole girl-boy thing, I don't know what it's like to have a boy, but they don't seem all that incredibly intelligent until they reach 30. Really, I wasn't all that intelligent until I reached 30. Bindi, I see, is a lot more clever and calculated before she actually jumps in. She'll, unlike me, when I was, say, 5 years of age, she'd anticipate head, tail, body, dad's there, he'll take the head, I'll get this bit. Whereas me, I just would have jumped in there. So I think she's a little more clever and calculated than I ever was at that age.
Terry's due.
Clever, N,
Yeah.
and calculated, T.
Right.
It's great how much he can see her, even as a young age. He can see, like, he's like, I don't have this NETE thing, but she does.
Yeah,
and
plus
the
she's
double
blast
observing.
last as well. So like that's a trifecta there where she
what?
if she's blast last too, she probably would want to consume before acting. And if he's double activated play, like he's going to play blast something where
Right.
she's like, hold on,
Right.
just wait,
And
like
then accurately double observe.
pause for a second, get more information in.
So watching Steve's interviews and stuff, it's like he'll do all this extroverted stuff, all this crazy talk, but then when he actually shares his plan, remember like I did a video on Jake Paul, where it's like Jake Paul is causing a lot of chaos in the fight world because he has a plan that he's trying to get underneath Dana's skin so he can get into the UFC. And when you look at it, you're like, wow, that's actually pretty genius. And like he is conscious to some degree of what his plan is.
Yeah.
So Steve, also being an EP, has the same kind of deal with Demon and I, where Steve's plan was this. His plan is, I'm going to go in with my savers, cause all this chaos, get all this attention with supporting animals and saving animals, the TV shows and the zoos and everything else, right? Using his
Right.
saviors first. That's what everybody's always fucking missing, because they look for 2 seconds at their demons and go, that's me. So he's using his saviors, and then he's working it down to, I'm going to build an organization, which is now still going today with the zoos and conserving animals and stuff like that, and then take the money that he's getting to just flat out buy land so animals can be safe on the land. Because, I don't have a whole lot of clips here, it kind of goes on long, Steve's deeper fears are for the corporations, or more particularly like
that are gobbling up the land.
the humans, the globalists, the people who are expanding and gobbling up the land.
Yeah.
The first time in history, people are seeing crocodiles and snakes as animals that have welfare issues, which is fantastic. So I believe if I can secure enough habitat, then there will always be places for the animals to go when they've been annihilated throughout their habitat. Because basically, mate, the human population is going off. It's just a bit too rapid for the old Mother Earth to keep up with, mate. And so this is my way of helping her out.
That's about it. You just get a quiet little leak out of what the plan is.
That's the plan. The one thing that I see from the double deciders is that they will always categorize when talking about people and things. The people, the mass population, Mother Earth. That's another one that I keep hearing from the ESFPs. Mother Earth. That Mother Earth, especially the play ESFPs. I don't know. I guess that would be the NIFI. There is this mother.
And then plus it's like a censor. It's a censor
the
phrase you've heard on TV.
That too. I read that one out of a dictionary, memorized that.
You can't just make up your own words.
That's true. That's definitely what I see from the
because the planet I live on is called Planet Bitch Christ. I just made that up myself. Works for me. Fuck you.
I don't even know what to say after that.
Is that it?
Anyways, this is a really great time.